Put aside your worries and troubles in this mundane, superficial world and journey with me, Spook Man Dan, into Fantasyland.
Everybody loves Spook Man Dan.
And why?
Because you can always drop by.
Well, we're gonna take a little commercial break, and then we're gonna go back into the movie. Hey, all you guys and ghouls out there, Spook Man Dan here, telling you that we've got another classic to horrify you with this Saturday night on Late Night Fright Theater, 11:15. Come along now, Boris. Until next week. Hey, God bless and keep you well. Where is it?
The night was black, rain falling down. Look for my baby, she's nowhere around. Traced her footsteps down to the shore. Afraid she's gone forevermore. I looked at the sea and it seemed to say, I took your baby from you away. I heard a voice crying in the deep, come join me, baby, in my endless sleep. Why did we quarrel? Why did we fight? Why did I leave her alone tonight? That's why her footsteps ran into the sea. That's why my baby has gone from me. I looked at the sea and it seemed to say, I took your baby from you away. I heard a voice crying in the deep, come join me, baby, in my endless sleep. Ran in the water, heart full of fear. There in the breakers, I saw her near. Reached for my darling, held her to me, stole her away from the angry sea. I looked at the sea and it seemed to say, you took your baby from me away. My heart cried out, she's mine to keep. I saved my baby from an endless sleep, endless sleep, endless sleep.
What time is it?
5 after. You want me to hug again?
No, Johnny will be out in a minute. He's probably making his last rounds.
Good. Gives me time to cuddle.
Why don't you drive yourself home and build a fire?
Because this is more fun. You happy?
That's a heck of a question to ask a guy about to start an 8-hour shift.
Answer it. Are you happy?
Very happy.
So am I. And so is Fred Jr.
Still convinced it's going to be a boy.
Positive. Today at the doctor's office, he kicked so hard, I told the nurse to call the LA Rams and have him drop a contract.
How did I ever get you?
Just lucky, I guess. Not as lucky as I am.
Fred?
Oh, hi, Johnny.
Hi, Fred. Hi, Mrs. Covey. How are you?
No complaints, Johnny. How goes the battle?
The usual. Very quiet.
Good.
Get straight home. I'll see you in the morning.
Okay. Oh, honey, your sweater.
I don't need it.
Take it. It's getting colder. Johnny, you make sure he's got this on before he leaves.
Right. She sure fusses over you.
Yeah, you know something?
What?
I like it. You can lock it when you leave, Johnny.
Oh, okay.
What was it you couldn't say in front of Linda?
Oh, it's the Royal Warlocks, that neighborhood gang I told you about. They broke in again tonight.
Any damage?
No, I caught them near the prop department. They didn't even have time to spring the lock.
You still haven't found out how they get in?
No, but if I was you, I'd check that Grover Street site when you make your first rounds.
I wonder what they want.
Trouble, Fred. And be careful, they're mean, real mean.
I can handle them.
I'm sure you can, but there's no shame in calling the police either.
I've been here 25 years. I haven't had a call for outside help.
25 years? Well, I can't see doing this for 25 years, no way.
Well, it wasn't what I wanted either. I wasn't always a security guard here.
Sure, I didn't know that. What did you used to do before?
I was an actor. I was a featured player. I made over 10 films for this studio. See that picture up there, top right? It's me. Satan's Revenge.
That's wild, Fred. Why didn't you stay an actor?
Well, my last film, a bridge exploded too soon and blew up my leg. Afterwards, at the hospital, Mr. Fillmore himself told me I had a job with the studio as long as I wanted it. It's worked out.
Yeah, sure.
How's college coming?
I really have to cram tonight. Math, physics, art history. I'll never make it.
Sure you will. I envy you.
That makes us even, Fred. Good night.
Good night.
doesn't look like much.
He never did.
It's time.
Yes, let's get started.
Who's there? Come on out of there. I'm warning you. You kids are on private property. You're trespassing. Now come on out of there.
This way, Fred.
All right, I've had it. If you kids don't come out in exactly 30 seconds, every one of you, I'm gonna call the police. Is that what you want? Okay. End of the line. Everybody out. Kids have had it this time.
Fred Colby! Hey, Fred!
Charlie.
Don't tell me I finally caught you sleeping.
I wasn't sleeping. I just lost track of the time, that's all.
How about some coffee?
Not today, Charlie. Linda hasn't been sleeping too well lately, and I better get home.
You don't look so good yourself. What's the matter, something wrong?
Yeah. Watch out for that neighborhood gang. The Royal Warlocks, they found some way to get onto the lot, and they've been running Johnny and me ragged.
Don't worry about it, I can handle them.
That's what I thought. But these kids are tougher and trickier than any kids I ever saw. They know this lot almost as well as I do. They even got into a projection room somehow, and...
And what?
Just keep an eye out, that's all.
Going home, Fred. Kids are kids. I'll manage.
Don't say I didn't warn you.
Okay, you warned me.
Honey, you scared me. Please don't ever do that again.
Sorry, honey. I thought you'd still be sleeping.
No, I got up with the sun. Good to see you. Isn't it a beautiful morning?
Oh, I didn't notice.
What's the matter, honey? Did you have a bad night?
No, I'm just tired. A couple hours sleep, I'll be as good as new.
Hey, let's go shopping this afternoon. Okay. Set the alarm for 1, and I'll have a fantastic breakfast waiting for you. Ham and eggs and lots of black coffee.
Sounds great.
Then make a down payment and I'll hold your reservation.
See you in a couple hours.
We'll be waiting.
Accept what fate has in store for you.
No! Never! No!
What are you doing here?
Nothing.
You didn't think you'd be able to get away with this, did you?
I thought...
I will!
You're watching TV.
Yeah, I always do when I'm ironing. You want to laugh? It's one of those old scary movies your studio made.
Pictures like that aren't good for you, especially now.
It's fun watching a bunch of monsters terrifying somebody and suddenly realize the third ghoul from the left is my loving husband.
Cut it out. That's not funny.
Fred, what's the matter with you?
I'm sorry. I had some aggravation at work last night.
What happened?
Well, this gang of neighborhood kids snuck in and had me running around like crazy.
Did you catch him?
Well, that's what's so weird. I didn't even see him.
Honey, why don't you let me call my Uncle Jack?
Hey, I'm not looking for a handout.
He offered you a job.
Honey, I'm not a salesman. I'm a security guard. I've got a job.
Yeah, well, that's going to be over in 2 weeks anyway, so why wait?
Linda, you're forgetting the bonus, $5,000. If I quit now, before the studio closes, I lose it. And you know how much we're counting on it for the baby.
Well, what if that gang keeps making trouble?
I'll handle them. I've been told I have quite a way with the younger generation, especially when they get to know me.
Yeah, you say that to all your wives.
Just the fat ones.
Graveyard shift ought to be checking in. Midnight to dawn, like clockwork.
Let's go have some fun.
Well, I hope they're as quiet for you tonight as they were for me.
No trouble?
No, not a bit. See you later, Fred.
Okay. Don't forget to lock the gate on your way out.
Sure. Good night.
Hey.
Where are you going? Good to see you back, Fred. We were afraid you weren't coming.
Who are you? Where are you?
Soon, Fred. All in good time.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
I missed you. I couldn't stop thinking about you being all alone out here.
You shouldn't be here.
Made you surprised.
Say, Jack, you know who this is? Eric, would you look at this? Here I come, here I come!
I got me a gorilla!
Hey, man, you look like my stepmother. Even my old lady would know who I was with this stuff on.
Your favorite cookies.
That's fine, honey. Why don't you just leave them there? And,
You have to eat at least one of them.
honey, that gang is back.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I heard them. They even called me by name.
What are you gonna do? Fred, call the police.
No, I'll handle them.
Please, I want to go with you.
No, now you stay here.
Fred, be careful!
Linda.
Fred? Fred, is that you?
Linda, I need you.
Fred? Fred, answer me. Where are you?
This way.
Fred? Fred? Where are you? Why don't you answer me?
You wanted him to change jobs. His job isn't finished. We need him. We need both of you. You must choose now. Choose. It must be done. Choose. Choose. You must choose. Choose. Choose me. Choose me. Choose one of us, Linda. You must choose.
It's all right, honey. You're safe. We're home. I called Charlie Durham to fill in for me.
I still don't know what happened.
It was that gang. I thought I chased them all off. Why didn't you stay put like I told you?
I heard something. Someone. I thought it was you. Fred, they were so horrible and grotesque. What happened to them?
I don't know. By the time I got to you, they were gone. They're not coming back.
How can you be sure?
Honey,
Fred, please. They had me surrounded. They're evil and dangerous. Please don't go back there anymore.
what about the bonus?
No bonus is worth it. I'd worry about you every night. Is that what you want?
I'll call your Uncle Jack in the morning.
Thank you. You'll see, honey. Everything will work out for the best.
Sure.
You'll do fine, Fred, once you get the hang of things.
But I've never sold anything in my life. Not even newspapers when I was a kid.
So what? I can tell you really like people, and that's mighty important in this business. Anyway, I handle a good line of cars, so they practically sell themselves. All my salesmen do is provide the fountain pens.
I wish it was as easy as you make it sound.
It is. I'll prove it to you. This hubcap is missing.
Oh, we'll take care of that. I'd like to call your attention to the tires.
Well, they seem in pretty good shape. Hood's stuck.
Oh, a little bit. The service department will take care of that.
Lights work. Horn works. What about the radio?
Well, let's try it.
Fred, we need you.
Come back where you belong.
We're getting away. We need you desperately.
Stop it! What's the matter, Fred?
Save us. There's so little time. You and Linda, we need you. Come back.
Shut up! You hear me? Shut up!
Fred, take it easy.
Don't you hear them?
Hear what?
Voices. They keep following.
Fred.
Listen, listen!
It's all right, Fred. Maybe you've been working too hard. We can try it again when you feel up to it. Call me in a week or so, huh?
You're early tonight.
Yeah, I was in the neighborhood. I thought I'd give you a break.
Good, I can use it. I'm loaded with homework.
Any trouble?
Quiet, like a church.
Sir.
Got an exam in the morning. Can use the study time.
Ah, you're gonna do okay. It's never quiet for me. I ran those kids out of here again last night.
Oh, did you find out how they were getting in?
Yeah.
Good. Real good. Okay, Fred, see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
By the way, Linda called. She was worried she hadn't heard from you.
Thanks.
Okay, bye, Fred.
Good night, Johnny.
Rolling. All right, ready? Right, action.
I beg of you. I had nothing to do with the killing of girl. Not a thing. There were others, many of them, in that pit, but she was killed. Please, I beg of you. I implore you.
Who are you? What do you want? Go away. Leave us alone. I'm not afraid of you. Do you hear me? I'm not afraid. You can't hurt us. Studio's closed. No one's allowed in.
Not even me, Fred?
Mr. Fillmore. Nobody told me you were coming by.
Would you believe I own the place? I don't even have a key.
Anything in particular you'd like to see?
No, I just wanted to take one last look around. You know, to say goodbye in my own way. 40 years, and soon it'll all be dust. It's the best soundstage we ever built. We made all our Count vampire pictures on that stage. Oh, what a box office smash we had with him.
I remember. I was in some of them.
That's right, you were, Fred. Nobody did it any better than we did. And you know why? Because I knew what the public wanted, to be scared out of their wits. That's why I gave them the most terrifying characters ever created. Claw, Wolfman, Scarface, the Mummy, and Dr. Death.
Dr. Death? I don't remember him.
He never caught on like the others. He was too diabolical, too evil. An emissary of the devil who specialized in the taking over of human bodies. Once he got bored with one, he'd move on to someone else. Men, women, even unborn children.
Sounds awful.
He was. Especially his eyes. Once he selected his victim, his eyes seemed to burn into that person's soul. He probably was way, way ahead of his time. Fred. Fred, what's the matter?
Wait a minute, Fred, come back here. Fred! Fred! Fred, come back.
Choose me! Choose me! Now! Choose me! Choose! Linda! No! Choose me!
She's resting comfortably. She's been through a severe trauma. I think for her sake and the baby's, we better get her to a hospital. I'll phone for an ambulance.
Anything you say. Can I see her?
Yes, of course. She's badly shaken. Any idea what caused it?
I'm not sure. Honey, don't say a word now. Everything's gonna be just fine.
Who are they? What do they want?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Please tell me. I have to know.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Fred, I'm not a child that has to be protected and cherished. Tell me what's going on.
Well, I don't know how. But all those characters we created in the old days, they've taken on lives of their own. And they inhabit that place, the old studio. And they want to live on after it's destroyed.
What's that got to do with us? They want me to choose. What? Why? They were performing, auditioning, trying to win my approval so that one of them could... The baby. They want to possess the baby.
They're gone now.
What if they come back?
They won't. I promise you. Never again. I promise.
The ambulance is on its way. If you like, you can ride with your wife.
No, I have to do something else first. I'll see you at the hospital.
Fred, what if the baby's not all right because of them?
It'll be all right. I promise. Johnny, what are you doing here? You're not supposed to be on duty.
I got an emergency call. They said you flipped out and took off. I'm finishing up your shift.
Oh, I'm okay now. Open up, will you? Hey, come on. There's no reason for you to stay.
I can't.
What?
Fred, you've been fired. Fillmore left orders never to let you on the lot again.
But I gotta get back in there.
It's like you always said, orders are orders.
Johnny, please. Let me come in and collect my gear at least. Please.
Okay, there's no harm in that. But you gotta get out of here fast. Hey, no hard feelings, huh?
Carrying gasoline. Fred.
He's learning to march.
Dr. Mansfield. Dr. Mansfield. Report to emergency.
Excuse me, my wife was brought in here earlier this evening by Dr. Richardson.
Oh, you must be Mr. Colby.
That's right.
Your wife went into labor 10 minutes after she arrived.
Labor? Is she all right?
Oh, she's fine. You'll find her in room 421.
Baby. What about the baby?
It's a boy.
Is he all right?
He's perfect.
Then it's over. It's all right.
Just like you promised. Here's Daddy.
Catherine blocks the
Ghost stories. Weird.
weird stories. And murders, too. The hermit knows of them all. Turn out your lights. Turn them out. Have you heard the story? The house with a past, eh? Then listen while the hermit tells you the story.
It's 8 o'clock, Paul. You'll have to hurry if you're going to get to the store on time this morning.
I'm hurrying.
Oh, you know, Paul, I think I'm going to like this little town. No, I couldn't bear the thought of moving here when you first told me you had bought out the drugstore in a little jerkwater town.
I think we'll be happy here, honey.
Oh, imagine finding a dear little house like this, all furnished. Why, it's nicer than anything we could get in the city. And the rent so reasonable. How did you ever happen to locate it, Paul?
Well, Mr. Rogers, a banker here in town, owns it. Belonged to some member of his family. They've gone away or something, so he rented it to me. Now, I've got to go, honey.
All right. Will you be home for lunch?
I'll call you on the phone if I can get away.
Okay. Oh, listen, dear. You must be careful about leaving lights on in the house all night. When you came to our room after listening to the radio last night, you left 3 lights on in the living room.
What? No, I didn't.
Oh, yes, you did.
But I tell you, I didn't, Margaret.
Our neighbors in small towns might think it very strange if they saw lights burning at all hours of night. Besides, we can't burn up money right now, Paul. Just getting started in this new business and all.
I don't know what you're talking about. I know I turned off the lights before I came to bed last night.
I'm afraid you're getting absent-minded, honey, because 3 lamps were burning when I got up this morning.
No, I won't argue with you. I gotta go now.
All right. Don't get too absent-minded, dear. You might mix the wrong prescriptions for people. What? Well, look. Well, there goes the milkman right past the house. I told him to leave milk and cream every morning. Must have forgotten. Call him in, Paul.
All right, I will.
Now, let me see. What should I do first this morning? Oh, I love this little house. It's going to be grand living here. Oh, that must be the milkman. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Won't you come in?
Thank you, ma'am.
I guess you forgot about me this morning. I want milk and cream every day.
Yes, ma'am. I didn't forget about you exactly. I thought maybe you would be moving out already, so I didn't stop.
Moving out? Why, we just moved in the day before yesterday.
Yes, ma'am, I know. But that's about as long as anybody stays in this house.
I don't see what you mean.
I just figured I wouldn't leave any milk for you because you might move away in a hurry and I might not get any pay.
Oh, we aren't in the habit of moving out of places in the nighttime. I still don't see what you mean.
The last folks that moved in here about 4 months ago, they got out in the night and in a hurry, too.
How strange. What for?
Well, if you haven't found out yet, you soon will.
Found out what?
This house. There's something in it. Queer things go on here. Things that frighten folks half out of their wits.
Yes? Well, what is it? What is it that's strange?
Well, no one knows, ma'am. But they say the house is haunted.
Is it one of the superstitions of this little town?
I don't know, ma'am. But most folks here in town know it's true. Should I leave a quart of milk, ma'am?
Yes, and a pint of cream every morning, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Here, I'll pay you for the week. Then you won't be afraid that I'll run off and you won't get your money. Here you are. Is this the right amount?
That's right, ma'am.
Oh, someone at the door. Pardon me.
It's your next-door neighbor, ma'am. I seen her coming across the backyard.
Oh, thank you. None of my neighbors have called as yet. Good morning.
Good morning. You're Mrs. Liveston, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Won't you come in?
Oh, yes, although I can't stay long.
I'll be going, ma'am.
Oh, yes, and don't forget to stop every morning.
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I will.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Well, so you've moved in here to stay, have you? And your husband bought out the drugstore. Oh, it's too bad old Mr. Green had to die. He was such a good druggist, and I depended on him so. He fixed up the most marvelous remedy for my rheumatism. And I always say these new doctors mean well, but they don't know the old-fashioned remedies the old men did. Oh, no, sir.
Oh, won't you come in the living room and sit down?
No, if you don't mind, I'll stay right here in the kitchen. Not that I'm afraid in this house in the daytime, mind you, but, well, I like to be right near a door where I can get out in a hurry.
Mrs. Dutton, will you please tell me what this mystery is all about? The milkman was trying to tell me something about him, but...
Now, that's just what I thought. I said to my man last night, I said, Like as not, Seth Rogers, he's the banker who owns this house.
Oh, yeah.
I said, I'll bet you dollars to donuts he didn't tell you folks a thing about it. Now, isn't that the limit?
Oh, what is it? Tell me all about it.
Well, there are no two ways about it. This house is haunted.
Huh? Oh, you don't mean to tell me that a lovely new house like this is branded with any old-fashioned belief like
true
that?
enough, all right. Sometimes I actually get so frightened right next door to it that I threatened to move out of the neighborhood. I said only last week that if I heard any more stories about it, I'd have to get out.
Oh, for goodness sake, tell me what it is. I don't want to live in ignorance of what's wrong with my own house.
It is. That's what it is. Oh, it's a tragic story. A very tragic story.
Yeah? Well, tell me.
Well, this house was built for Mr. Rogers' daughter. He gave it to her for a wedding present. Oh, I remember as well as if it were yesterday. She was such a beautiful girl. And her husband, my, but he was handsome.
They live here in this house?
Yes, but only for 4 weeks, mind you. Just 4 weeks in this lovely little house.
How long ago was it?
Just 3 years ago last October. My, it was a terrible thing.
Oh, what happened to them?
Well, as I say, they'd only been married 4 weeks when one day he went out hunting. How well I remember that day. I was the first one over here when I heard about the accident.
To him, you mean?
Yes. Oh, my. To think that a couple so much in love should come to such a tragic end. Well, as I say, I was the first one over here. I even got here before Mr. Rogers came to tell his daughter about it. I had to break the news to her.
Something had happened to her husband, you mean?
Some other hunter shot him accidentally. Killed him outright.
Oh, how terrible.
Terrible is no word for it. And wait, you haven't heard the worst part of the story. 2 weeks afterwards, that poor girl, that lovely bride, who was a bride no more, killed herself.
Oh, no.
Yes, she did. Threw herself in the river. Drowned.
Oh, what a tragic thing.
Oh, her poor little body. They never recovered it, though they dragged the river for days and days.
Well, it's a terrible thing, Mrs. Dutton, but I don't see what it has to do with this house being haunted.
Oh, wait, I'm coming to that. You see, for 6 months after they died, it was closed up tight. Mr. Rogers never came near it. I came over and sorted out her clothes and personal things for him. He wouldn't step inside. Then I guess he decided to rent it. It was all furnished and everything.
Oh, it's so nice even now.
4 different families have tried to live in it since then. But they all moved away in a hurry. They claimed they heard things walking at night.
In this house?
Yes, walking all over it. Tragedy struck it too soon. And the ghosts of those young people come back to walk on the earth they were forced to leave.
Have you ever heard them walking?
No, and I don't want to.
Oh, I heard nothing last night.
But you will. You mark my words. Oh, great heavens. What was that?
Sounded like something in the living room. I'll go see.
Something certainly did fall.
What? Why, look. There's this beautiful vase that's set on the mantel. Oh, what a shame. It's broken in 1,000 pieces.
And not a car going by on the street to jar it up. Not a thing. Oh, I tell you, they're beginning to walk in the daytime. Let me out of here. Let me out of here. They haunt the house in the daytime now. Oh, let me out of here.
Paul, wake up. Turn on the lights.
What is it? What did you say?
Wake up. Turn on the light. Right there beside you.
What's the matter?
Listen. There's someone walking up in the attic.
I don't hear anything.
Wake up and listen, you will. You hear it?
I hear a noise.
Someone walking, I tell you. I can hear it plain as day. Oh, turn on the light.
Yeah. Now do you feel better when you can see?
I don't think I hear it now.
I suppose whatever it was knew we turned on the lights and scampered away. Honey, I'm ashamed of you. You've let that neighbor of yours get you all upset.
Oh, no, I haven't. I'm certain I heard someone walking upstairs.
Well, it's stopped now. What do you say we go back to sleep?
Well, let's sleep with the light on.
Nonsense. Well, I'm back to sleep and forget it.
All right. I'll try.
May I turn off the light then?
Yes, go ahead.
There. Now you calm your fears. Go back to sleep.
Oh, I know you think it sounded silly.
Of course I do. You can't scare me.
There are such things as ghosts, you know.
Where? In books?
In life.
Ah, you're silly.
Paul. Listen, Paul. There it is again. Don't you hear it?
I do hear a noise.
It's someone walking right up over our heads. Paul, you've got to go up in the attic and see what it is.
All right, I will. Just to satisfy you. But I know it isn't anything. Just the wind rattling something up there.
Wind doesn't make the sound of footsteps. Oh, hurry, Paul.
You wanted to get me?
I want you to find out what it is.
Well, where's my robe?
I'm beginning to see why people moved out of this house. How could they stay here with this strange walking over them?
You want to come with me?
No, I'll stay here. What's that? Oh, it's Paul walking up the attic stairs. Oh, I've got myself in a nice state of nerves. Now, if that's Paul, it sounds exactly like the walking before he went up there. What was that? Paul! Paul, come here! Paul, come here, quick! What happened?
Margaret, that was down in the kitchen.
I'm coming. What is it?
Look what's happened here.
My heavens. Oh, what in the world?
Every dish in the cupboard is smashed on the floor.
Oh, of all things. All these lovely dishes broken. What could cause it?
By golly, if this isn't the limit.
What could cause it, Paul? Was there someone up in the attic?
No, there wasn't. But, Margaret.
Yes?
I don't want to get you frightened.
No,
now.
tell me, what did you see?
Well, it wasn't exactly what I saw. Well, in a way it was, too.
There was something, wasn't there?
As I was climbing the stairs to the attic, I don't know what it was, but I had the queerest sensation, as if something brushed my shoulder. I could feel it, almost see it. It was as if I were blind and yet could sense someone or something trying to move stealthily past me.
Oh, Paul. Oh, dear, the house is haunted there.
I don't know. But if it is, and something did pass me on the stairs, it came down here in the kitchen and threw all these dishes on the floor.
Let's get out.
I'm going to talk to Mr. Rogers in the morning. I can't believe it yet, but there certainly is something going on here.
I know it. I heard them walking long before you did. And the vase on the mantel this morning, it broke, too.
Well, keep calm, honey. We'll find out what it is. Right now, if you can find a cup that isn't broken, I'll have a gallon of black coffee.
Yeah, it's all right, Mr. Liveston. You're welcome to move out. I'll refund your month's rent.
I don't want to do that, Mr. Rogers.
You've stayed a night longer than anyone else who's rented the house. I don't blame you for going.
You haven't ever stayed there, have you?
No. I presume you know the story of my daughter and my son-in-law.
Yes, I do. I don't want to bring it all up for you again.
It's all right. It's with me all the time. What I started to say was, I can't bring myself to go in the house. I built it for my little girl. I couldn't go into it. Ever.
What I'd like to ask you is, do you take any stock in the story about the house being haunted?
I don't know. All I've heard is from the people who've rented it. They say so.
But you don't believe it, do you?
I don't know. There might be some truth in it.
Yet you've never investigated.
Oh, I think you understand. I can't visit that house.
But maybe if you came and stayed in it, we could clear the matter up. Won't you come over to the house and stay with my wife and me tonight?
Well,
Please. We'll feel a lot better. We want to live in the house if possible.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll try and forget my sorrow. I'll go there to the house tonight and stay with you.
Thank you, Mr. Rogers.
If there is anything, we'll find it. But I don't want the house all torn to pieces.
Oh, no, sir. We won't do that.
I hate to lose the property. But if it's true that there is something wrong, I may have to burn the house down.
That would be a shame. My wife likes the house. We'd like to stay there.
Well, I'll be over tonight. Maybe we can straighten it out forever.
Good evening. Oh, Mrs. Dutton. Come right in.
Suppose you're surprised to see me. I didn't think myself that I'd ever come into this house at night.
Well, now you're here, won't you take off your things and sit down?
I just brought this shawl. I'll keep it over my shoulders. Isn't that Mr. Rogers' car out in front?
Yes, it is.
Well, think of that. I never expected he'd come to this house. Never. Is there something wrong? Something more than usual, I mean?
Well, not exactly.
It must be something very strange that would bring him to this house. He never set foot inside it since the death of his daughter, you know.
So I understand. But he very kindly consented to do so after my husband went and talked to him.
What about?
Well, We like the house very well, and we'd like to stay here if we can.
Has anything else happened since the day I was over?
We did hear some strange sounds.
I knew it. And you've gone right on living here. How can you do it? Why, I'm sure Where's Mr. Rogers gone?
Oh, he and Paul are looking through the house. They've gone down the basement now, I think.
Searching? What for?
Nothing definite.
What could they find? Things that haunt houses couldn't be seen.
Well, you know how much better anyone feels after they've searched all through a house which frightens them.
Oh, my heavens. Look.
Where? What do you mean?
Can't you see? Look at that chair.
What?
Look at it.
Why, it's rocking.
Oh, of course it's rocking. All by itself.
Oh, they must have jarred it while they were down in the basement.
Oh, no. It's spirits rocking that chair. I know it. Whatever is in this house that haunts this place, it's after someone. Or it wants something. I know it. Oh, it's rocking again. All by itself. Oh, help! Help!
What is it? Yes, what's happened?
Oh, Mr. Rogers, it's you. Oh, I'm glad you've come. But now you may stop whatever it is in this house.
What is it, Mrs. Dutton?
See that chair there? It started to rock all by itself.
Did it, Margaret?
Well, yes, it did. I thought perhaps it was because you jarred the floor while you were down in the basement.
Oh, it was spirits. I know it. Oh, my nerves. The nerves are all unstrung. I've got to go home. Right now. Right now.
Well,
she really was frightened, wasn't she?
Of course, if it did really move of its own accord, it would frighten anyone. I can't make it out. We haven't seen a thing.
Oh, it isn't that there's anything in the house that hurt you, Mr. Rogers. It's only this constant moving of things in the house. And in the nighttime, someone or something moving in the attic. We haven't seen anything either.
I don't think we shall. I shall have to admit I'm still at a loss to account for it, though. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll retire to my room for the night. But I promise you I shall stay awake. And if there is anything, we'll find it.
Well, I can hear it tonight, all right, Margaret. Was that the sound you heard?
Yes, that's it. Should we call Mr. Rogers?
No, let him hear it for himself. Then we'll be certain it isn't a product of our own minds.
How could it be a product of our own minds? There's certainly something moving about in the attic.
Someone, something walking. You're right, it is.
Yes?
Mr. Rogers.
Just a minute.
I think I heard what you've been referring to. The sound of something moving in the attic.
Yes, Mr. Rogers, we just heard it, too.
Shall we go up there?
Yes, I guess we better. I can't make it out.
I'm going to.
All right. Will your robe be warm enough?
Yes, I'm all right.
Then let's go right away.
Oh, wait. There aren't any lights in the attic. I'll take a flashlight.
Why, the attic was wired for electricity.
I guess the bulbs have been taken out then. Because I couldn't get any light the other night when I went up there.
Listen. I hear it again. Do you? It sounds as if whatever it is was moving faster, walking more rapidly.
Are we all ready now?
Yes, I am.
Of course, we won't see a thing. All these weird things happen and we never see a thing.
Here are the stairs. Watch out now. Don't fall into them.
Oh, I hate to admit it. I'm so scared my heart is pounding like a trip hammer.
I know. I went cold all over when I heard the sound of walking while I was in my room. The light should turn on right here.
Guess they don't work. We can see pretty well with this flashlight. Yeah, you see? Not a thing. Totally deserted.
We can't peer into the corners very well.
Wait, I'll stand up in this chair. Maybe the light bulb has come loose. Maybe I can fix it. I can almost reach it.
Here, I'll give you a boost.
Now I've got it. Yes, it is loose. There. Now turn on the switch.
Yes.
Oh, there. That's fine. Now we can see there.
But there isn't anything to see. Isn't it the queerest thing?
Did you feel anything pass you on the stairs this time, Paul?
No.
Did you, Mr. Rogers?
Pass me on the stairs? No.
Well, neither did I. And if there is anything in this house, it should still be right here in this attic.
Do you mind if we tear things to pieces up here and search thoroughly, Mr. Rogers?
I don't know what there is to search for, but go right ahead. I hate to disturb my girl's things that were left here in the attic. But we might as well, I guess.
I just thought it might be an animal or a bat or something living up here. We may find it.
Well, that wouldn't account for the dishes breaking, Paul, or the chair rocking.
This is just a pile of bedding, isn't it?
Yes, I guess so.
Oh, look. Look at this big trunk. What's in it, Mr. Rogers?
Oh, that trunk, why, it was one my wife and I first took to Europe with us. My little girl used it for her trousseau, I guess.
Oh, I think it's locked. But maybe I can open it. Stuck, I guess. Rusty. Oh, there. It's opening. Paul. Paul. Come here. Paul. Oh, Paul.
Margaret, what is it?
Don't look. It's a body.
What? Great heavens. What is it? It's a body, Mr. Rogers. A woman's body.
What? Let me look at it. Great heavens. It's the body of my daughter. The body of my daughter.
Margaret is much better, Mr. Rogers.
I'm glad to hear she's getting along all right. It was a terrible shock for her.
And for you, Mr. Rogers.
Yes, it was. So much I can't even think or reason it out.
You know how it happened?
Yes, we found a bottle of poison in the bottom of the trunk. She crawled away in there and died.
Believe me, my heart aches for you.
But at least now I can give my little girl a decent burial. Mr. Liveston, I'm convinced there was something that moved about in the house. Aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Either the spirit of my daughter walked in that house, or that of her husband trying to tell us that the body of my little girl was there.
We haven't heard or seen anything strange for the last 3 nights.
No, and you won't. The spirits will rest easy now. They'll rest easy.
The wandering spirit was set free. It will walk no more. Turn on your lights. Turn them on. I'll be back. Pleasant dreams.
All characters, places, and occurrences mentioned in the Hermit's Cave are fictitious, and similarity to persons, places, or occurrences is purely accidental.
And you, Phyllis Hamilton, do you take this man to be your legal, lawfully wedded husband, to love, honor, and obey until death do you part?
I do.
She's fainted, Dr. Raymond.
Take her into the anteroom.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Rayburn, I'm Pat Hunter from the Chronicle.
Please, this is no time for interviews.
Shall I telephone for the ambulance?
No. The undertaker. She's dead.
Okay, I can go now.
Is that all? Gee, thanks.
Good evening, Dr. Rayburn. I'm from the Forest Mortuary.
Forest Mortuary? Why, two of your men just drove away with the body a few moments ago.
Well, there must be some mistake. They weren't our men.
Well, I've heard of ambulance chasing, but this is something new.
New? It's sensational. Another kidnapping of a dead bride. What a story!
And a few minutes ago, one of the men who helped remove the body of the mysteriously dead bride was apprehended by the police.
Go on, keep talking.
Well, what I told you, I was standing on the corner, minding my own business, when along comes a stiff riding. A guy poked his head out of the window and asked me if I want to make a couple of bucks.
How many men were with that hearse?
2. At least all I could see.
What'd they look like?
I don't know. It was dark. I didn't pay no attention to faces.
You noticed the license?
What, with 2 bucks staring me in the face?
Come on, tell the truth. What'd you do with the corpse?
I didn't do nothing with it. What I tell you is the truth. So help me.
As District Attorney, Mrs. Wentworth, I assure you there won't be any trouble. You can proceed with the wedding as planned.
Well, we want some assurance besides words. We want protection.
I'll have plenty of men guarding the chapel. And if I'm any judge of the appearance of your daughter, she looks as healthy as she is beautiful.
Well, really, Mother, I think you're making much ado about nothing.
You're not worried, are you?
Not in the least. Well, if we have protection, I'll feel much better about it.
You'll have it all right, Mrs. Wentworth. Tell Jones and Riley to wait. I'll pick him up.
That's the Wentworth mother and daughter, isn't it? Is the wedding called off?
Certainly not. And there isn't going to be any trouble either.
That's what all the rest of them thought.
I can't answer for Miss Wentworth's health, but your paper can print one thing, and that is that there'll be no more theft of girls' bodies.
Yeah. This'll get you and Sandy into the wedding, and I want plenty of photographs.
Oh, don't worry, boss. I got enough film to cover the Russian front.
Oh, Mr. Keenan, you promised to take me off the society column.
Oh, quit beefing. You're getting a break. This is the most exclusive wedding of the year.
What if the Wentworth girl drops dead, too?
You'll still tell me what she's wearing, along with the rest of the fancy pants. Get me the guest list and don't bother about anything else. I've got 3 men working with the police, and there'll be plenty more thereabouts. If the bride pulls up this time, there won't be any snatching. Now get going.
What if I get a clue?
Oh, I wouldn't let that bother me, sweetie pie. You wouldn't know a clue if it bit you.
I'll remember those words, stooge.
Why are you so nervous, Mother? After all, I'm the one that's getting married.
Oh, I just can't help it. I'm so afraid something will go wrong.
Oh, forget it. Nothing can possibly happen.
Oh, Alice! Oh, you look perfectly beautiful.
I look all right.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I am too. Have you seen Dwight?
No.
Make it snappy. We're late and this wedding won't wait for us.
Can I help it if we had a blowout?
Serves you right. Why don't you buy some new tires for this bus?
You know, I've been thinking of getting... Hey, are you kidding?
Come on.
You mustn't come in here. It's bad luck.
Oh, not even a peek?
Not even one. You'll see me soon enough.
You see? Girls, do you mind if I have these last few minutes alone with Alice?
Oh, I know. We understand.
We'll go.
Well, Mother, you're about to lose me.
I hope not forever, dear.
Oh,
Of course not. What are you talking about? Do you feel all right, dear? Certainly. I never felt better in my life. You should forget all that silly nonsense about those brides dropping dead.
For Miss Wentworth.
Oh, thank you. From Dwight, no doubt. Oh, wear this next to your heart, darling. All my love. What an unusual orchid.
Well, I never saw one like it before. It's lovely.
It's beautiful.
The minister is ready, Mrs. Wentworth.
Thank you. Say a little prayer, darling.
You look faint, dear. Do you feel all right?
Oh, Alice, oh, darling, are you all right? Oh, Alice, dear. Alice.
What happened again? I just got the picture of the month.
The news to Keenan. Did you get any more pictures?
Did I get pictures? I covered everything except a close-up of this pretty posy.
Why, that looks like the one the bride wore. What are you doing with it?
Presenting it to you, sweetheart, as a token of my devotion. Take a smell.
Who ever heard of an orchid with a scent?
Well, that one has. Maybe it's a clue.
What a peculiar, sweet odor.
Yeah, make a swell romaine salad. Hey, Pat, you're not going to pass out too, are you?
No, I'm okay.
You stay right here.
What kind of a gag is this? No driver, no license plate. Maybe it isn't a gag. Maybe it's a decoy. Well, maybe you're right.
Calling all cars, calling all cars. Another abduction of a girl's corpse. Brunette, 22 years of age. Stop and search all trucks and suspicious-looking cars. That is all. Burnside.
Pile out. We're taking a look inside this rig.
Sure thing, officer.
stuff's all right, but not the one we're looking for. All right, go ahead. Change that headline to read as Wedlock Challenged. Then set up an editorial attacking the DA's office for playing marbles while some madman runs away with the bodies of dead brides.
Okay, Mr. Keenan.
Send me up the proofs right away. Oh, so it's you. Well, of all the rotten stories that have ever been turned into this office, yours takes the prize. No guest list, and we don't even know what the bride wore.
She wore this orchid.
Listen, Miss Hunter, I have a great responsibility. I'm a public servant. Parents are calling the Chronicle frantically with tears in their voice, begging for news of their daughters. I have a daughter myself who's about to be married. Maybe she'll drop dead, too. But she won't drop dead from an orchid.
I didn't say that.
Well, then what are you talking about?
Every one of the brides that died and disappeared were wearing one of these orchids.
How do you know?
Well, I checked. Look at these pictures.
All right, perhaps it's a coincidence. It still doesn't spell anything.
Then where did the Wentworth girl get this orchid? The bridegroom didn't give it to her.
Perhaps a dozen people gave it to her. Her mammy, her pappy.
No, they didn't either. I checked. Besides, this orchid has a peculiar odor. That's unusual.
Well, if you think it's a clue, why don't you follow it up?
Is that an assignment?
It's a notice that you're through if you don't bring something in.
Okay, Mr. Keenan.
My little family. You're all so very faithful.
Master, the Countess is waiting.
Upstairs?
There.
Oh, you must hurry. Mike? Suffering, my beloved?
Terribly. You must hurry.
I'm so sorry that I was detained. Please forgive me.
Forgive you. You loiter and waste time while I wait here dying. Dying.
Courage. I will not let you die.
Better death than agony like this. Look at me. Look at me.
Calm yourself, my dear.
Now, will you hurry?
Why do you beat my son so hard?
Because he's a beast, an animal, and someday I shall have to destroy him.
My poor son, why was he ever born? Can you bear to look at me now?
Of course. You're beautiful. And I shall always keep you that way.
Will she live?
As long as she can be of any use to us.
She's pretty. Very young.
All of them must be. Come, my dear. Look after the girl, Paga.
Yes, master.
None of the florists I checked with ever saw an orchid like that.
Well, that's not surprising. This particular type belongs to the Stanhopea class. It's a very rare species.
Do you know of anyone that grows them?
No. But if you wish to find out more about them, I suggest that you look up a man by the name of Lorenz. He was the one who originally hybridized this plant, over in Europe somewhere.
But I just can't go to Europe just to...
Oh, that isn't necessary. He lives up at Brookdale now.
Well, thank you, Mr. Smith.
You're quite welcome.
Looks like that box got a coffin in it, Jet.
Sure does. For Professor Lorenz. What do you suppose he wants with a coffin?
Search me. He's such a strange, spooky guy. The further I stay away from him, the better.
Me too.
I'll take charge of this.
Go ahead, take it away. Try to get rid of it.
Taxi, lady?
Yes.
Right this way. Where to, miss?
To the home of Professor Lorenz.
Lorenz, I'm sorry, I can't take you there. I'm out of gas.
You mean you won't take me?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I just...
Is this the only taxi in town?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Look, I've simply got to get to the Lorenz place. I'll make it worth your while.
Oh, I'm sorry, lady, but that truck's going up there. You might get a ride with him, that is, if you don't mind riding with a coffin.
Would you give me a lift to the Lorenz place?
What do you want to go there for?
To see the professor.
Does he expect you?
No, but
Then we can't take you.
Get off and stay off.
Look, I've got to see Professor Lorenz. It's important.
I said you couldn't ride.
Hey, wait a minute. You've got my bag. Oh. Would you mind giving me a lift?
Well, certainly not. Where are you going?
I'm trying to get to the home of Professor Lorenz.
Well, you're in luck. That's where I'm going. Get in.
Thank you.
My name is Dr. Foster.
I'm Patricia Hunter.
Are you a friend of the Lorenz?
No, I'm a reporter. I hope to interview the professor. You're his doctor, I presume?
Well, not exactly. Lorenz is a doctor himself, but he has no license to practice. I've been working with him. We're trying to find a cure for his wife.
Oh, I see. What type of people are the Lorenzes?
You'll find them very interesting. Professor Lorenz is a man of unusual accomplishment, but his wife is rather peculiar. I expect you'll find them both a bit eccentric. Toby, tell your master I'm here.
Cheerful little fellow, isn't he?
I told you they were eccentric.
I'm inclined to believe you.
Get out, you gargoyle! Get out!
Good evening, Dr. Foster. Come right in.
Good evening, Professor Lorenz. Countess. May I present Miss Patricia Hunter?
How do you do?
We have been expecting you.
So you found my bag in your truck?
Yes. There it is.
Miss Hunter's a newspaper woman.
I came here hoping you might grant me an interview.
An interview? About what?
No one asked you to come here. You are not welcome.
Control yourself, my dear. I'm sure Miss Hunter meant no harm. Please forgive my wife. She's not well. Come, you had better retire.
So that's what you call being eccentric. Well, I have another name for it.
I do not like that girl. She is here for no good.
We have nothing to fear.
I'm sorry, Professor, if we're intruding.
Not at all, Dr. Foster. This is our evening for work. Please, be seated.
Thank you.
What do you wish to interview me about?
Orchids.
Orchids?
Yes, I understand that you're an authority on the subject.
They were once my hobby, but I haven't grown any for several years. Which species are you interested in?
A very rare one of the Stanhopea type. A horticulturist told me that you're the original hybridizer of it.
Have you ever seen one?
Yes, I have one in my bag. I'll show it to you.
Where did you get it?
Oh, a friend of mine gave it to me. You see, I'm doing an article on orchids for my newspaper, and I thought that you might be willing to supply me with some special data.
I'm sorry I can't spare the time tonight, Miss Hunter. You see, I have very important work to do with Dr. Foster.
I understand.
If your interview can wait until morning, I'll drive you back here then. If that's agreeable to Professor Lorenz.
Well, it's quite agreeable, but I would suggest that you both stay here as my guests.
Thank you very much, but I prefer going to a hotel.
Just as you wish. I think it would be foolish to go out in such a storm.
The professor is right, Miss Hunter. Perhaps we had better remain. However, if you insist, I'll gladly drive you back to the village.
I'm afraid that would be an imposition since you've so much work to do. Thank you, I'll stay.
Toby will show you to your rooms. Toby, take up Miss Hunter's bag.
Good night.
Good night. I'll meet you in the study soon. Very well.
Why did you ask her to spend the night here?
A very special reason.
I guess you sleep very good. Maybe.
The few times I've stayed overnight here, I slept unusually well.
It must be wonderful to have nerves like that. Tell me, just how well do you know these people?
Why, actually, not very well. I've only recently moved into the village. You know, a young doctor trying to establish a practice.
Well, I must be keeping you from your work. Good night, Doctor.
Good night.
What do you want?
Yes, you are beautiful.
How did you get in here?
So young. Such lovely skin. Sometime you too will be a bride.
I know where you're going. Someday, the master will catch you. Then you'll be sorry.
Dr. Foster! Dr. Foster! Dr. Foster! Dr. Foster! Dr. Foster!
What's wrong?
I just saw someone in my room, a horrible-looking creature. He disappeared back there.
Apparently he's not here now. Where did you see him?
Leaning over my bed.
Of course, you might have been dreaming.
I'm positive I wasn't. Earlier in the evening, Mrs. Lorenz suddenly appeared and then disappeared. Do you suppose there's another entrance to this room?
Oh, I doubt it. Why don't you try to go back to sleep? No one's going to harm you. I'm sure it was just a nightmare.
I think this whole place is a nightmare. Professor Lorenz and his wife were actually sleeping in coffins. I saw them.
We often find it difficult to explain the peculiarities of some people.
I guess so. I'm awfully sorry to bother you.
It was no trouble. If you're frightened, call me again. Good night.
Good night.
What is the trouble?
The angel. He has disturbed our guests.
Always the angel. He is a menace to us.
Yes. I think the time has come to dispose of him. Don't be afraid, Angel. I would not hurt you.
Yes?
Good morning, Miss Hunter.
Oh, good morning. Just a minute, Dr. Foster. I want to see you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were up.
Up? I've been up all night with dead people.
Dead people? What do you mean?
Come in and I'll tell you. What kind of a place is this? Last night I had the most horrible experience of my life.
Well, what was it?
I saw lots of girls in crypts down underneath this house.
Pardon me. What was that you were saying, Miss Hunter?
Why have you a mausoleum in the basement?
Mausoleum? What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. All those dead girls and that horrible dead creature.
My dear, you must have had a bad dream.
Now look, Professor, this was no dream.
When did you see all this?
Shortly after I called you and told you about that horrible creature in my room.
Is that true, Dr. Foster?
Why, I don't recall anything about it, Miss Hunter. You must be mistaken.
Well, if I was dreaming, it was the darndest nightmare I've ever had.
Well, I slept very soundly myself.
Miss Hunter was rather upset, I think, when she retired. You see, in our dreams, our minds play strange tricks on us sometimes.
Yes, I suppose so. Oh, Professor, that orchid I brought up here to show you's gone. I couldn't find it in my bag.
That's too bad. Perhaps you forgot to pack it. Will you be down soon?
Yes, right away.
Are you coming, Doctor?
Of course.
Shall we go into breakfast?
No, thank you. I've got to get back to the city. Will you drive me to the station, Dr. Foster?
I'll be glad to.
But what about the interview?
Well, that'll have to wait until some other time. I just remembered an appointment at the office, so I've got to catch the next train. You'll excuse me, Countess?
Yes, I will excuse you.
Oh, Professor, do you also make a hobby of collecting coffins?
Why, yes, in a manner of speaking. I find a coffin much more comfortable than a bed. Many people do so, my dear. Is it so strange that I accept one while waiting for eternal rest?
No, I suppose not. Well, thank you for your hospitality. Goodbye.
I trust we will meet again. It has been so nice meeting you.
Don't tell me I'm still dreaming.
Why, what do you mean?
That gravedigger. He's real, isn't he?
Oh, he's real, all right. But I hardly think he's a gravedigger. More likely laying the foundation for a house.
You're a trusting soul, aren't you, Doctor?
Is that a crime?
No, on the contrary. I envy you.
Are you trying to make me believe you're one of those hard-boiled reporters that we read about or see in the movies?
No, but working on a newspaper, one becomes cynical and suspicious.
I've enjoyed meeting you, Miss Hunter. I hope to have the pleasure of seeing you again.
I have a hunch you will, Dr. Foster.
Oh, tell me, just why did you come up here? Or is it the secret?
It is, but somehow I feel that I can trust you.
You can.
You've heard of the case of the vanishing brides.
Why, surely.
I think I have a clue.
You don't mean that you suspect...
Yes, I do. I want to show you something. What are these?
Why, they're orchids, of course.
You bet they're orchids. And they didn't grow in my dreams. They're exactly like the one that disappeared from my bag.
Where did you get them?
I found them on the floor beside my bed this morning. The person who came into my room last night must have brought these with him.
That seems like a logical explanation.
There's no question about it. Honestly, Doctor, don't you remember meeting me in the hallway last night?
No, I don't. And if I did, I must have been asleep.
Either that or you were hypnotized.
Yes, that's quite possible.
Well, watch your step. And if you discover anything, phone me.
That's a promise.
Goodbye.
Not goodbye. Au revoir.
All right, print the story on page 1. Keep your fingers crossed that this paper isn't sued for libel by some of these phony suspects that the police are bringing in.
Well, I get me a rep out of the guy they just brought in.
I don't want photographs. I want real clues. If the DA's office can't pick up the madman who's stealing the bodies of these dead girls, maybe we can.
Okay, I'll throw it in a wastebasket.
No, I'll have it developed. Doyle, where's Lefty?
Over at Central Station.
The only thing he gets over there is a game of gin rummy. Tell him to get back here.
Well, I got something.
I'll say you have. You're fired.
What do you mean? You can't do that to me.
Listen, just because the bodies of dead girls disappear is no reason why you can do a vanishing act.
But you gave me the assignment.
Yeah, I suppose I did. All right, where have you been? What have you uncovered?
Well, hey, not so fast. Listen, Mr. Keenan, last night I went through the most gruesome experience of my life.
You should talk. All my life has been a nightmare.
Well, you can rest easier now because I've seen plenty. If I can only prove I wasn't dreaming.
Dreaming?
I had a dream last night myself. I dreamed you gave me that raise you've been promising me.
All right, Madam Zora, go on with your dream story.
Well, there's a certain Professor Lorenz that lives upstate. He knows all about orchids, but insists that he doesn't grow them anymore. Yet I found these in my bedroom this morning.
Listen, Dizzy, you didn't go off someplace and get married, did you?
No, I didn't. But I saw the bodies of those other missing brides.
All right. Now, take it easy. Stop breathing hard, Pat, and tell me all about it. Did you really see any bodies?
Well, yes and no.
I see. Just a bit of ectoplasm.
Well, I'm sure I did, though, only... Oh, I can't explain it.
Yeah, you're suffering the same way I am. I see brides everywhere. Hear wedding bells ringing in my ears.
And I saw a dead man, too. A monstrosity.
Very well.
I'd like to see Miss Hunter.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's busy. She's with Mr. Keenan.
It's very important that I see her. I'm Dr. Foster. I wonder if you'd mind announcing me.
Mr. Keenan, there's Dr. Foster here. Insists on seeing Miss Hunter.
Tell him he can have all of her time from now on.
That's the Dr. Foster I was telling you about. Maybe he has more evidence.
All right, send the sawbones in.
Hey, look, if you don't mind, I'm going out for a nervous breakdown.
Well, Doctor, you almost beat me here.
Yes, I drove down.
Dr. Foster, Mr. Keenan, my editor.
I'm very glad to meet you.
How do you know? This cub reporter of mine has been telling me a weird story about a certain Dr. Lorenz up in your neighborhood.
It's weird, all right, but I'm confident it's true. After you left, I looked around the station to find out if Lorenz had any other coffins assigned to him. I found a consignment, all right. And instead of a coffin, it was a box filled with this stuff.
So what? That's ordinary garden moss.
It's moss, all right, but not ordinary. This is a special type used by florists and hybridizers for growing orchids. It's called osmundin.
Which proves that he does grow orchids like these. And the same kind were worn by every one of the brides that died.
Well, maybe it is a clue. But how do I know that the rest isn't a cockeyed nightmare? She admits that you don't remember talking to her.
I could have talked to her while in a somnambulistic state, under the influence of hypnotism.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that this Professor Lorenz is a hypnotist as well as a horticulturist?
Why not? My short acquaintance with him has convinced me that he's a man of unlimited talents. He's strange, peculiar. I've even suspected him of being insane. But the fact remains he's not only a doctor, but a physicist and a scientist of great ability.
How about this hot-headed wife of his?
I hesitate to bring her into the case at all. Professional ethics forbids a doctor talking about his patients.
Oh, forget about your ethics, Doctor. After all, we're after a criminal. How does this woman fit into the picture? Come on, tell us all you know.
The peculiar fact about her is that although she has the appearance of a young woman, her heart and arteries indicate that she's at least 70 or 80 years old.
Well, that doesn't explain anything. Certainly doesn't explain why Dr. Lorenz should steal these dead girls.
It's possible they may still be alive.
Alive in a cataleptic state?
That's it.
All right. What are your other deductions?
Well, simply this. These young girls, whether dead or alive, are being used by Lorenz in some manner as human guinea pigs to sustain his wife in a youthful state.
Oh, that's preposterous.
It's nothing of the kind. Scientists are finding out every day that glands and hormones have a lot to do with life and health.
The glands in our bodies help determine the condition of our teeth, the texture of our hair.
All right, we'll admit all that. But I wouldn't dare print such a fantastic story.
I bring you the biggest story of the year and a chance to get this newspaper a real scoop, and you call it fantastic.
All right, I'll put Doyle on it to track it down.
I'm afraid you won't get very far. Professor Lorenz is a clever man, clever enough to withstand any investigation and destroy any evidence.
Why not trap the fellow?
How?
Well, he steals dead brides, doesn't he?
Oh, now, look, Pat, do you want to be a June bride?
Well, sure. I mean, that is, no, not yet. Anyway, Lorenz knows me.
All right, then stop talking nonsense. This paper can't assume the responsibility of such a harebrained scheme.
Oh, please, Mr. Keenan, you can't pass up an opportunity like this. There she is. Cigarette?
Hey, she's cute. Well, would you like to dance?
Later. Business before pleasure, you know. Hello, Peggy. Hello, Pat. Miss Woods, Dr. Foster.
Good evening, Miss Woods.
How do you do? I have something important to tell you. I'm all ears. Let's go to your dressing room. Okay. I won't be long.
All right.
Peggy, I've landed a good part for you. A chance to prove your talent. Really? What is it, a picture or a play? Neither one. My paper's going to stage a phony wedding, and we want you to be the perfect June bride. Now, wait just a minute. With bridesmaids and flowers and all the trimmings. What is it, a circulation stunt? No. You've heard of the case of the vanishing brides. Sure. Well, this is a plan we have to trap the person who's been stealing their bodies. Are you kidding? Certainly not. The job will pay you plenty. How will I collect if I'm dead? You won't be dead. All you have to be careful of is not to smell any flowers. All I do is lie 6 feet underground and push them up. Nix, count me out. Listen, Peggy, I'm offering you a chance to get your picture on the front page of every newspaper in this country. Overnight, you'll be famous. Broadway producers and Hollywood studios will be offering you contracts. Why, it's the chance you've been waiting for.
She's a most unusual type. Such fascinating eyes.
She'll make a charming addition to our family.
June 20th.
A date we shall not forget. Faga, what are you doing in this part of the house?
Master, I keep hearing my son's voice calling for me.
Your son is better off where he is. Go back to your work.
Master, you shouldn't have done it. He didn't deserve to die.
Do what I say and don't come up here again.
Yes, master.
Well, everything's all set. She's young and pretty.
Yeah. What assurance have we that this Lorenz guy will show up to make the snatch?
And what happens if he does kidnap this fake bride?
Well, the private chapel and neighborhood will be covered with guards, and, well, Lorenz hasn't a chance to escape.
Providing he shows up. And if he doesn't, I'm the sucker and out $500.
And if he does, you have an exclusive story with big, juicy headlines.
I hope you're right.
Well, blushing bride, here's where you go on for your big scene.
Or big flop. My knees are shaking.
There's nothing to be afraid of. Here's your bouquet and the phony orchid. Now, don't forget to put on your act.
Leave that to me. You got plenty of photographers out there?
Certainly.
And what about the cops?
How many times do I have to tell you nothing's going to happen to you?
Oh, Miss Hunter.
Yes?
I wanted to ask you, in this ceremony, shall we use the word cherish or obey?
You mean for the bride?
Yes.
Well, just for this once, let's put the old-fashioned word in. Obey.
I've marked the words here.
Just read the ceremony slowly, solemnly.
Yes, I understand.
I hope what you're doing isn't wrong.
It's all in good cause.
Well, I suppose it is. Well, if you need me, you'll find me in my study.
Thank you. You've been grand, Reverend. You'd better go get ready.
What do I do now?
Just march down the aisle and don't forget to faint at the altar.
Well, here goes nothing.
How's everything going?
All right so far, I guess.
Good.
Ceremony's about to begin.
I certainly hope somebody shows up besides these ham actors I'm paying.
You know, it seems to me that if Lorenz were ready to strike, he'd have sent an orchid.
Just a minute. I'll take that.
Did you say orchid?
And I'll take you with it.
There you are. Looks like our man's going to pounce all right.
It looks like you're right.
A real wedding, doesn't it?
Yes. Too bad it isn't. Ours.
Is that a proposal, Dr. Foster?
It certainly is.
The minister would like to speak to you in his study, Miss Hunter.
But, oh, you mean the real minister?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'll be right back. You wanted to see me, Reverend?
Where's Pat?
The minister sent for her. I'll be right back.
Oh, Pat!
Please, Master, don't leave me.
Toby, my son. Where is Toby, Master?
Toby's gone.
You shouldn't have left.
Stop whimpering. How's the Countess?
Waiting as usual.
Hurry up, let's go.
There was trouble?
Yes, but we'll be finished before anyone finds us.
But the bride, what will we do without them?
We have to leave him here.
Which means I will perish.
Oh, it isn't hopeless I find other girls. In the meantime, we take this one with us.
What are you waiting for?
Well, my dear, again we meet, only under different circumstances. I would have preferred that you would be a bride, but it really doesn't matter. You will serve our purpose just as well.
Now both of my sons are gone. You betrayed me, Master.
I heard enough. There's work to do.
You betrayed me, Master. You shouldn't have done it.
You stay here and cover this room.
Your hand is unsteady.
Come. See.
Pat.
Is she dead?
No. Just scared to death.
All right. Break it up. We've got headlines to write.
Do I get a byline?
After this, you can have a clothesline with my shirt on it.
I now pronounce you man and wife.
Finally make a newspaper woman out of you, and then you have to go and quit.
And to think that this was the cause of it all.
Just got off from work, it was awful late. I had to pass the cemetery gate. The sky was dark and the moon was bright. It was a very, very cold, cold night. I never thought I could see such a sight. A poor soul doing the dead man's stroll, dressed in a top that gained at all. Must have been going to a dead